All right, I'd like to call I'll call to order the February 24th regular meeting of the village board. And I'd like to have trustee Root join us, lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. We'll start off with the approval of the minutes of our special meeting held on February 10th, 2025. Take a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
In a second,
I'll second it.
seconded by trustee Master Domenico. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Monthly reports from the sanitation department, the fire department, superintendent of public works, the Caldwell Sewer District, the rec center, and our financial reports. Those are all available to members of the public free of charge, should they request. And we have a presentation by our own Dan Baruch for Nexamp. Come on up, Dan.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
So, does everyone have this?
Got it right here.
Awesome.
I think they have it electronically.
Oh, yeah.
Tablets.
Trying to save paper.
Not yet, we're,
Better
what, 2
figure that
years,
out
a year and a
there.
half at least?
All right, so.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for a few months. The next AMP contract that we have for community solar. We entered into maybe close to 5 years ago now. At the time when we went to bid and found Nexamp and the other contractors that were on the state bid. They were all kind of working on the same paradigm that small accounts, medium accounts were eligible to get signed up for these community solar subscriptions on a pay-as-you-go model. That means we sign into a contract, we can cancel whenever we want, they can cancel us whenever they want. They normally never cancel, it's normally the person who subscribes, the municipality that subscribes that walks out. Nobody really walks out because it's a pretty good deal, it's a 10%, 11% savings, and we don't really have to do anything. What was missed the first time around, I don't want to say missed, we talked about it, and we both being the village and town decided against it, was entering into what they call anchor contracts for our large accounts. Now, I'm going over the same thing at the town. They have one anchor account, it's the streetlights, right? That's our biggest, basically, user of energy over there. The village has numerous large accounts. We have the wastewater treatment plant, we have the water treatment plant, we have, I believe, the streetlights, and I think the pump station, some of the pump station accounts were considered large accounts. When they enroll large accounts into these community solar fields, they want you to sign in to what's called an anchor agreement, which is typically a 20-year term. So both at the time, both the town and the village, you three were here, so you guys will remember, we were trepidous about the 20 years, right? That's a long term, it's locked in, something could happen, the costs could change, we could kind of get screwed long term if we entered into something that wasn't gonna pan out for that entire time period. Fast forward to now, Nexamp has reached back out and they're trying to lock in anchor agreements with their existing subscribers. They're basically circling back to those same large accounts and they're offering a 20-year term. We over at the town have been able to convince them to give us a 15-year term and not impacting any of the other accounts. So sometimes they get you to sign on to an anchor account, say for the water treatment plant, then they want you to roll all of your other accounts subscribed into the 20-year anchor. We've got them to agree, just give us 15 years on the one account and we'll do an anchor on that one. They said yes for the streetlights, so the town's gonna move forward with just the streetlights. So, my pitch to you guys is, I haven't come to really discuss this in depth, to think about the same deal. We would go back to Nexamp, tell them we want 15 years at the village, ideally 10, but they say they don't ever do 10. 15 years just for the large accounts. It would not affect any of the existing accounts that are all on pay-as-you-go. If we ever felt the need, we wanted to leave, do that for the small accounts. The most important thing to take into account when you're thinking about this is the savings. We do have an 11% discount, and they did offer an 11% discount for the anchor agreements. Over a 20-year term, so not 15, but 20-year term, the additional savings could be upwards of $1 million from these large accounts. And that's because they are using so much energy. We all know how much energy the wastewater treatment plant's using. Think about a 11% savings on that number. I'm pretty sure the checks we're cutting monthly are 6 figures. So you can calculate backwards just on that one site, 6-figure savings over the course of 12 months. So, you know, they're waiting to hear from us. I told them that we were having a meeting tonight and we're thinking about it. And you know, Ray's been chatting with Vinny a little bit about what each other's thinking about. Vinny is also chatting with the county because the county is also looking at these anchor contracts. So it's in, I think, halfway into the package that we emailed a couple months ago is a breakdown on the potential savings. And it says right in there, annual savings is about 50, additional savings, about $50,000. So over 20 years, it's about $1 million. We don't expect them to go anywhere. We don't expect Nexamp to go anywhere. We don't expect community solar to go anywhere. Even with all the stuff happening at the federal level, financing, funding at the federal level, what's happening with renewable energy rollback at the federal level, none of that is really expected to happen here because of New York's push for those things. So we, you know, first time around, we're like, well, what's going to happen in 20 years? We're pretty certain in the next 15 years, nothing is going to happen to these community solar programs. They're going to keep getting incentivized by New York State, if not through the federal government. So the presentation they gave us is a pretty good one. It talks about their company and what the benefits are, blah, blah, blah. But this table and the one after it are probably the most important things to look at in terms of savings. So, you know, right now our savings are about $48,000 a year. Adding on the 6 large accounts based on the energy costs for 20 years is $870,000. So it's a sizable amount of money over the years. About 44 a year. So
Now, did the town have an issue with binding board? Is that why they didn't want to go so long?
yeah, they didn't want to lock in for future board members, you know, future board makeups. They also, I think there was just general consensus at the time that 20 years is such a long period of time and anything could happen. But Vinny has been having conversations with John Taplin and some of the supervisors at the county. And, you know, I think he's become much more comfortable and actually supportive of the long term because it does lock us in for a certain amount of time for a quality amount of savings, right? The pay as you go. So some of these accounts were, you know, we're making $10 on, right, a month. A lot of the accounts, you know, Julie and Deb see the bills. In the summer, we get $0 bills because of the credits, the way that the credits work. So we get $0 bills from National Grid, and then we cut a check to Nexamp. Based on the generation from each account, so the treatment plant uses a ton of energy. That one account gets subscribed to a certain amount of solar panels, right? So if there's 200 solar panels that get attributed to the treatment plant, in a nice stretch of summer, we're accumulating a ton of credits just from that one account. So I think Vinny is now more comfortable with the long term, and he basically has gotten the town board to understand the benefits of it. They did come back and say, let's try to get them to do 10. I tried twice. I didn't want to lose the fish while it was on the hook. And so they did come back and say, we never have done 10, but we'll do 15. So it's a good middle of the road compromise. But like I said, we've been on Nexamp for 5 years now with all the small accounts. no issues yet, only savings. And it's been a lot of savings over the 5 years, and a lot of greenhouse gas reduction. So, yep. So just think about it, I think, and then maybe at a future meeting, we can come back. If you have questions, shoot me a text or an email. And at a future meeting, maybe we could talk about a resolution if we're at it that way.
We have a meeting next week. So I know, Allison, you said you might not be able to attend. If you want to reach out to Dan with any questions in the meantime, and then give us some feedback and of what you think, and then the rest of us can make a decision at the next meeting.
Sounds good?
I have a question for
Sure.
Dan before he goes. Last year, we got into discussion about studying consolidation or looking at revising the comprehensive plan.
Mhm.
But at the time, it was decided that there was too much going on with the DRI.
Mhm.
Do you have room on your plate for a consolidation plan this year?
Generally speaking, my plates are pretty full. We could figure it out. If either of them were to be kind of forwarded, or attempted to be started, my only suggestion would be with a comp plan. Some of what ends up in the comp plan may be predicated on how we spend the DRI money and how those projects come out. So if it ends up being a comp plan, that maybe should wait until we achieve some completion of DRI. The consolidation study, if that's the way the board's headed, that doesn't necessarily have a nexus to DRI, so that could be whenever. That grant is a rolling grant, the local government efficiency grant for the consolidation study. It's rolling, so it's open numerous times a year. The smart growth grant that we would go after for the comp plan is in the CFA. So it's only from May to July each year. And then once the end of July comes, you're wait until the next year.
Are the incentives still in place for consolidation?
The CETC tax credit, yeah.
Right.
You know, that was talked about the last time around. The likelihood of that program ever going anywhere in New York is probably less than 2%. You know, that program was even funded through COVID. When they slashed the budget through COVID, the community still got their money for that program, so it's still there.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Dan.
Yep.
Correspondence. LGA updates of the dates of the rec center where they do the outdoor classroom. Request from the school to. Oh, next page. For the junior prom to use Shepherd Park. Nope, class 26 to. It says Saturday, April
They're just
26th.
looking for money.
Oh, they're looking for money. Oh, we can't give them money. They know that. The New York State Department of Health Water Sample Report showing that our water is good. Yeah, they had no boil water. Lead and copper have shown, or lead has shown up in no places so far. And a letter and email from Robert Blaze regarding the second notice of some flooding that occurs since the motel across the street had paved their parking lot. It used to be gravel. And once they paved it, the water kind of sheets off of it. Keith and I have looked at it. Believe Keith has a plan for tie into the drain that's by the school.
Pardon me?
Tying into the drain that's by the school.
Yeah, we had Jim Lieberman and some of his cohorts come and look at the situation even, I think it was during a rain event. The width of the parking lot that reaches out into Mountain Drive is probably 30 to 40 feet in width. You're looking at possibly to correct this is possibly some sheet or drain units in the street, very similar to what we have at the back side of the firehouse.
A curtain drain.
The curtain drains with the grates and so on. That would be about the only thing I can see, and then tie into the system towards the corner to So it would be a project at best. I'm not saying we need to have a lot of engineering or we could do it in-house possibly. We would still look a little, we would get some guidance maybe from Jim again, just to see what his thoughts are.
Yeah, when we were on site, I think he said the Warren County Soil and Water had some materials that they would be able to
We've
gift
got
us.
some newer things that may be easier to implement
Mhm.
or install. And we can look at that together.
All right, resolutions to be considered. Tree care by Stan Hunt. Pest control at the Village Hall and Visitor Center. I think it's the same as it was last year. I want to say it was $700 last year.
Let me see it, maybe on that.
Yeah.
Resolution, yeah, no, I updated it, yeah, it's around the same, because but it's twice a year, so that's why it looks.
Mhm.
It's 2 facilities twice a year.
Make a motion, we approve that with it, Stan Hunt.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Master Domenico. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. Carries, Mayor votes aye. Quirk booth rental 2025 agreement. It's up for renewal. We sent a new one out to all the parties who I think have ever bid on it, even some that haven't yet. We've got one back so far, but we kept the price at where it is, what, 17,000 a year?
Yeah, this is out to bid right now.
Yeah, so that's
This is just to show you that.
just to show you that it's out there. We did get one response so far. It's got, how much time did you leave?
They have until next board meeting.
So not the third.
No.
the
the-
17th.
Right.
So I'll take a motion.
Well, I say, I
don't think we even need a
We
motion,
don't
do
have
we?
to do anything. else.
No,
I don't know why I put it in.
The bid's not in,
resolutions, honestly.
yeah.
I don't know why I
Not
put it in
till the bid comes
resolutions,
in.
honestly.
Right. Adirondack Association of Towns and Villages, 2024 dues. That's pretty much the same every year,
Mhm.
$100. For advocation by the group for being in the Adirondack Park. Take a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion.
Allison beat you to it, Joe.
Okay,
You can do the second.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Americade parking pass. Stickers. Costs of them, do we want to keep them the same? They were 20 last year. We talked about raising them to 25, but what do we think? Anybody have any?
I would prefer to just leave it the same.
I agree.
People are gonna be squeezed on enough.
I think so.
areas.
I think 20 is fair. So I'll take that a motion.
So that's a motion.
That's a motion by trustee Root to keep them the same. Is there a second?
I'll second and keep it the same.
All right. Seconded by trustee Philomeno. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Votes aye. Fire department insurance contract.
Nope.
No?
No,
Where-
now
where
we
am
have to, look at the refund request.
Where are you looking?
It's all in the same thing. We need to
Oh, that's
approve
right, the refund,
the
yes.
Cost of the tickets, then approving the refund, and then also,
We sell a bunch of them in advance to Americade
And
to
then,
distribute within their packets.
Yeah.
This actually proved a few years ago to be pretty lucrative and put a lot less stress and strain on our staff for selling them. And in the past, we've given them credit for any that didn't sell. Was there a lot that didn't sell last year?
no,
I
no,
think it was only,
no,
handful.
yeah, honestly, like I said, they pay us up front. And they literally only get back whatever tickets they hand back to us, so it's not like they're getting away with anything. It's all money in and money out, it's all equal.
Sounds fair to me.
and volunteer passes was the other
Yeah.
thing.
Volunteer.
How many did we give them?
90 last year, and they're asking for 90 again this year.
90
That's what we gave them last year, yeah.
volunteers parking motorcycles.
How many parking spaces do we have?
797.
But again, these are,
How many good
these are,
How many good ones? Wow. A varying degree.
Feels hot. Am I wrong?
Did he use all their volunteer passes?
They don't use all their volunteer passes. They're not, they don't volunteer every day consecutively for the time that they're here, so it's just different people. So they're not,
Right, it's
they're not
not
taking
90
up.
all in one day, it's throughout the week,
Okay.
so it might be 10 or 15 each day kind of thing.
It's just, it is registered to that bike, so it's not transferable.
Correct.
Well, they get.
They have
They
to
can't
put the
pass it.
plate on it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah, keep it the same.
okay. So that's a resolution for both
Yes.
to approve.
Motion for.
Yeah, motion for both. Second for that. Seconded by trustee Miller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. That's fine.
Okay.
Now, the fire department insurance. Contract, Julie. What are we looking at for increases? And do we have enough coverage? That's one of the things we've learned on some claims that we've had over the last year.
It's going from $38,225.71 up to $39,580.05.
That's not a steep increase.
That's like 1,300 increase.
And that's for the machineries that we have on hand.
Mhm.
Same coverage
Yep.
last year.
Yeah, it's property, general liability, inland marine and crime. And there's some commercial automobile and commercial umbrella.
Did you say you had problems last year?
No, we're saying we didn't think that we had enough valuation on all of our buildings,
The
but this
buildings
one is
portion of
a
it.
recent build, so it's not. It's not new, but it's not as old as some of our buildings, so we're going through, I just wanted to double check, but it's a 4,608,000 is. Seems like it's
The
sufficient,
coverage amount.
so I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by trustee Master Domenico, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Food truck award for Fridays at the Lake. Everyone's got a pamphlet here from Bombas. We got, taco truck sent in and, references. The, mhm. And then the other one is the Clever Cleaver. They all got. It was references,
Great name.
Clever Cleaver, yeah. What's the pleasure of the board? I think we have the, information as the high bidder.
Vincent was.
And Vincent was the high bidder, yeah,
Vincent was the high bidder. The other two, I think, bid exactly the same.
yes.
Right,
They bid the minimum.
right.
And he would have probably been awarded the contract if he had just presented the application as was asked, so.
Mhm.
Now his application is stellar. And he's a known entity. He bid the highest, so I would recommend or make a motion to approve the Bombas contract.
I'm not,
Bid.
I'm not in favor of using Bombas. Just from our previous experience of where he made a bid and then he didn't follow through on the amount of money that he bid.
Is that true? Really? When was
Not
it?
for the food truck, but
No.
for the,
Running the events,
running the,
Oh,
what do you
the
call it?
farmer market.
farmer's market?
Yeah, when it was done, he came back and asked if we could decrease it. The amount
Because
that he gave.
business was bad.
Yeah, so even though he's the highest bid, I don't, from our experience in the past, I'm feeling,
Are these paid? Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear out my left ear, so my voice fluctuates.
Oh.
I can't. How are these paid?
Half, for the, it has to go upfront, isn't it upfront, half of it?
It's 100% minimum offer acceptance. The fee will be payable as follows: 100% on signing of the contract. So they have to pay upfront,
Yeah, because that type of,
Okay.
along with the $50 fee.
that type of, behavior is not tolerated anymore. We changed, Deb and I changed our whole,
Okay,
fee structure and as the way we accept them. So he either has to pay or he does not collect.
Yeah, event in the summer when it was hot, and it was on the sidewalk, forget the actual details of what the problem was, but it was, he struggled to make ends meet with that. During the,
Yeah,
farmer's market,
well, it rained a lot too that year.
and he overbid.
Yes. Yeah, that was the,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that
throw
was the
money at this
beginning of the
problem,
end, yeah.
right?
Made the motion.
I believe I made the motion.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
I'll second it.
All right, seconded by trustee Philomeno. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Chair votes aye, carries. Okay, Lake George Community Band funding request. We typically give them 8,000 a year, and I believe they duplicated this, I didn't even pass this. Food stuff still. And I believe they asked for the same. Yeah. We did give them a supplemental extra for a little while during COVID because they needed to pay the SUNY Adirondack rent because they were using the hall instead of the school. Last year, we discussed it with the school and the school welcomed them back to use the rehearsals in the high school auditorium. And so we saved that money, but they're still having the same request. So it's hasn't gone up. One of the few things that hasn't gone up.
Is this out of occupancy tax?
Yes.
Okay. Make that motion.
Okay, motion by trustee Miller. Is there a second?
Second,
Seconded by trustee Root. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Planning board, appointing Patricia Dow to the vice chair of the planning board. Hey, Dan, who was the vice chair currently? Or is there not a vice chair?
It
'Cause we
is
would-
her, but not formally.
Okay, because we were going through this with ZBA right now. And I haven't been familiar with us having a vice chair.
No, I don't think it's ever been like officially done. Typically, it's at the organizational meeting that you're gonna set both chairs and vice chairs. But I don't know that it was done in the past, and now with ZBA, we've got a little change up, so. But she has always acted, at least as long as I've been here, as Carol's vice and Robert's vice before. her.
Robert Mastronioni. Yeah.
So,
John, you were on that board, weren't you?
I was with Robert.
Yeah. So I have no issue with establishing a vice chair. So I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to officially appoint Patricia Dow as the vice chair.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Marshall and Sterling MVP insurance contract. Which plan? I don't have any. Do I have that? Oh, yeah, here it is. Turn my book. We have a 12% increase we're looking at. From $514,415.88 last year to $577,435.68 this year. Everything stays the same.
That's, again, that's part of what you're gonna decide. If we were to stay with the exact same plan, that's where you're gonna see a 12% increase. So you can change other plans to save some money, but then you're eliminating what you're getting for it.
So the only way to keep it the same, we'd have to cut coverage.
Exactly.
Right, if you wanted.
Or go to a different company.
Exactly.
Right.
In which it's not gonna be any better, probably.
Well, it's not optimal to change companies, everybody, especially halfway, because we do it in June.
Mhm.
So halfway through everyone else's fiscal year, it
Yeah.
proves to be difficult. It bothers the employees. I always recommend the platinum plan. I believe our employees earn it.
I mean, what
Those three of them, right?
what does your group think?
I feel that the insurance is adequate.
Okay,
The co-pays are very reasonable.
right.
I don't know. My knowledge for office is co-pay. Optimization line by increasing co-pays a little bit.
Well, that's where you did look at the different
When
plans.
you look at the
And
other
there are
plans, you're
other
saving
ones.
money, but it's $40 for a copay.
Well, it depends on the plan that you're going for, so. Like, oh, geez, this is so hard to read. Like the
well-
MVP Gold 4 is 40, but then if you go MVP Gold EPO, 3 visits at 0, then $15 copay. So you're,
Oh, yeah.
right, so there's just a bit of a change. When do we have to make a decision by?
Well, we
Each
gotta
page
get
you
the
can get that
signatures
one page
in
at a
to,
time. Yeah.
I think they, well, she was looking for it. She asked us about it the other day. Just because she has to do a bunch of paperwork on her end too. That's why Lori sent everything to everybody like a month ago. Cause she
Mhm.
was looking to get the answer back as soon as possible.
Oh, I didn't get it on my
The thing with the co-pays too, the village reimburses co-pays.
Right.
Right,
So increase of co-pay, village should affect wages
that makes a lot of
other
sense.
than.
No, there are not very many people do it. I think John Root and myself are the only ones that do it.
I'm
Or you
not on
used
the
to,
plan anymore.
when you were on the plan.
Is CDPHP one of the companies that,
Yep.
Yeah,
you have the 000 plan in there?
Let me look. I'm only seeing, oh, there we go, CDPHP EPO copay 1535.
No, there's, I don't
There's
know, what
another-
the 221s, the 224s. the
000,
226.
yep,
what page?
I don't know what page
Yeah.
this is. Is that what the town uses?
That's probably 95% of town staff have the 0.
You guys give different options, huh?
There's 3.
Mhm.
There was an MVP. I think we're all CDPHP now, and there's 3 different ones.
Could we
Yeah.
offer multiple different options
Nope.
and see why
Yeah,
not?
it's a group.
Because
The size of us.
Yeah, I think it's because we don't have that many
Sorry.
employees.
Jose. Tap on the screen. And it gives you a motion. See the 3 dots on the side,
Um,
and then the sidebar,
On the page, each
on the
page.
page, each page, you see the sidebar?
Yep.
Click on that 3 dots, and then it gives you an option to rotate it.
Oh, I got you.
Show Allison.
I like it. Thank you.
Show Allison.
I heard you, but I'm like
She's
in
locked.
deep
She's
thought.
locked in- She's locked
Sorry.
in now.
General method.
Yeah, there's-
See, the 000 comes in a gold.
It actually seems like a pretty decent plan, and I said negative 2, we would save money from the last one. I mean, if you wanna wait until, what, it's next week is your guys'?
We're at next, we have one on the.
We have another
one on
meeting
the
on-
Third,
Right,
that's,
Third.
because this actually seems like a very decent plan. Especially because how much can people be reimbursed for copays?
up
Up to,
600, I think.
600 as a
Yeah.
minimum.
600 for the year.
For single and, or
Which one?
single and
six
one,
hundred for
plus one.
single?
Family is 8.
I'm sorry, I'm like hard of hearing, 600,
680.
680?
Person.
For a family.
I mean, that's a pretty decent amount. The emergency room is a $500 copay, but I don't know how often people use emergency rooms. $100 copay is for urgent care. Right, but if you're getting reimbursed, maybe we just send an email saying like, maybe the copay is going up for this, but just reimburse yourself. That makes sense. I feel like.
It
we're
would save
saving
the
our-
village
a ton of money.
$70,000.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan.
The reason we all use it is the majority of doctor visits people take are PCPs, right? They're going to their doctor for a normal checkup. That's
Right.
$0. All tier 1 drugs are $0.
Right.
So anytime I go get a prescription for my boys or something, they're sick, $0. And the deductible, $0. So unless somebody has, severe health issues or something that's terminal or something serious, most of the employees aren't really spending very much out of their own. And so the town, because it's a little cheaper, the town premium match is a little higher. I don't know how many family plans you have, but that is not the best with a family plan.
Which one, the CPHP one?
The 000. You know, it's a decent amount for family, but if you have a lot of singles or spouses or spouse with kids, it's really not that bad for the total premium. You end up spending close to nothing if you're just doing
You're not.
doctor visits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm in favor of that one. Looking at it.
Tim? You want to go over that with Lori? You guys are usually the insurance gurus. It's, they'll indicate which one, and maybe we'll do what we did before about the dental, is we'll poll the employees. That was got a good response. A lot of them responded. And we'll lay those two options out and see what the employees say.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Because if they can only, for whatever reason, if we're stuck in one. Which could be like, ask them about that again, that seems silly, that we're stuck only with one plan, that people can't choose.
Oh, that, yeah, I can have her verify that, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we can't offer it because of the amount of people that we have.
But does the town have that many more people?
We've had 3 plans since I've been there, 10 years, so before EMS. We had 30 less people. I don't know what the total number is.
They have that many more employees?
They have about double what we have.
Oh, geez, okay.
The highway department is
I'll ask Lori to
Very
verify
large.
that.
Yeah. Okay,
okay. So if no action needs to be taken, we will
table.
table it and reconvene at our meeting on the 3rd, and I'll look for any other advice or pointers or things that you have to offer
Yeah.
in between. Maybe if you see something else, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know that you're gonna look at it again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Henniker 2 cubic yard sander, no motor. We want to put it out to surplus,
Have them determine.
determine it surplus. We don't use it.
Yeah, it's one of our oldest ones, there's no motor on it, change the over, it's seen it better days.
Okay.
Yeah.
A motion to put the 2 cubic yard sander out for surplus.
So move.
Motion by trustee Root. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Mayor votes aye. Rescind resolution 266. Create new to include fees. Jules?
Basically, what happened was on the 266, we mentioned that there would be no fees, the fees to the parade would be waived, but we didn't say that, I didn't put in there that the Shepherd Park fees are applicable. Because what you guys decided was that they would pay the fees to be reimbursed with they would qualify for OPTAX.
Yep.
So basically, I just needed to put the words in there, Shepherd Park fees are applicable.
So a motion for that?
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion to approve that resolution.
Motion by trustee Root
To rescind the resolution.
Correct.
And then correct it.
and then correct it.
And
Yeah,
then correct
so
it.
both
So
motions.
2 motions, yeah, 2 for 1 deal.
I need a 2 for 1 second,
I can second. both.
and that's how it was done when we did it originally. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. That votes aye. New employee hire of Mark Carpenter. Tim and I interviewed him. Did we do a background check?
Yep, came back clear.
Background check came back clear, and
Everything.
I
came
did
back clear.
a little bit more digging, because I sometimes look people up on Facebook to see what kind of posts, what, as a hiring manager, you kind of want to
Yeah.
know what you're getting. I found out that I had a friend in common with him, so I called her up. I went to high school with her, and she could not say enough nice things about him. Guy walks on water as far as she's concerned, so let's hope he works out.
Well,
He starts at $20 an hour. He is immediately going to start his training for a CDL, and he's agreed to the 2-year period that we have people agree to if we pay for their CDL. Actually, the county's been paying for them, but still, we get to keep them for 2 years.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed. I'll take a motion to approve the
I'll make that
hiring of
motion.
Mark Carpenter.
I'll make the motion.
Seconded by trustee, Joe made the motion, John seconded it. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Both sides. Okay. This is a fun one, guys. Fire department sign.
$7,000.
Donnie, come on up. $7,652. What did the sign cost originally? Do we know? Do we remember?
Was it 13?
I thought it was like 13,000.
Yeah. The problem is we put so many new parts in that are modern software that the old stuff is old, 10 years old. So they're just not compatible anymore. So for that amount of money, we're back to a brand new sign.
The electronic sign in front of the,
Like it needs to be replaced?
basically,
Was
right? Is it a new sign that we're getting at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, we're back to a brand new sign and less money.
Do you find the sign is worthwhile?
Yeah.
It is, the chamber calls and asks to, for stuff to put on it. Sometimes the school does, the mayor does a lot.
When it works.
Listen, no, it's very handy. It's very, because it's in a nice location. Everybody comes into town and that's the street they go down, so.
I often see it as outdated. It's like,
But it won't be we'll get all the front panels, everything will be, it'll be a brand new sign.
well, I mean, it will say like Happy New Year and it will be Valentine's Day or something like that. So what I meant is the message is outdated.
Right,
Okay.
but that's because it was the computer and the software was so, you couldn't change it. It was
Oh,
getting
okay.
to the point where it wouldn't update.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of issues with it.
I spoke with the tech that's been trying to fix it and nurse it along. His name is Russ, and he said it's gonna be going from a laptop base to a cloud base. So you have the right app and the permissions, you can make the changes on your phone. And rather than going to the station.
Because it
and-
kept getting slower and slower and you would change it, but it wouldn't change outside. And it'd be like, I've changed it, but it's not changing it. So it was just
Communication.
gradually dying and that was the problem. And then it just finally died.
So what are you going to want to put on it then? For $7,000, is it just listing the events that are happening in the village or?
Mostly it's the events that happen in the village and,
Mhm.
I mean, we've used it for all sorts of things, awareness, fire prevention.
Fire prevention.
Fire prevention goes on it. It's everything. Everything goes on it.
We've had condolences on
Yeah,
it.
condolences. I was looking for the word.
The mayor calls different things. The village events go on it, the chamber events go on it. I mean,
Cause we have the other sign in Shepherd Park.
That we're actually, Dan and I had this, that is super outdated. We have to actually boot up an old computer in order to change that one.
see, that's where we were at.
And it's
It's
inefficient.
the laptop is very old.
The one in Shepherd Park is text only though. It
Text
doesn't
only,
show, it doesn't show graphics and,
Where this one
moving
shows
objects.
graphics and,
No, will that be, the new one be a bit dimmable because you got some new neighbors diagonally across the
yes,
way?
we can adjust the brightness on it.
Okay.
No, keep going.
And
Cool.
you guys are only responsible for half of that.
Okay.
Yes.
Quick questions up. Do we have a warranty on this one?
I believe so. Was it on the invoice tonight?
I just have one sheet here.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
I would think so. I mean, we had a warranty on it when we got the whole thing before. I would imagine.
It might
there
not
would
be
some sort of
lifetime, but
warranty on
I'm
it.
sure.
I'm sure there's a time limit to it.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's electronic.
And there's no resale value of these things,
Mm.
probably, for the old one.
Well, we're not replacing the whole case. We're just replacing the inside.
Oh,
of it.
all right,
It's
great.
old.
So we don't have to take it all down and put a whole thing back up.
I mean, it's more than fire, it's a community board.
And
And,
in fairness, and Donnie did just point that out, it is 50% our responsibility.
Yeah, so you're not paying for the whole thing.
Can we take
Russ
this?
can do all the work, so they're not sending, if they sent their people out to do it, they're like 3 hours away. So we have all that travel time, Russ has worked with them the whole time and he can do all the work here, so that saves us a lot of money right there. They're just basically sending the parts, they'll walk him through it.
Chief, you had your hand up for a second?
He wants a wooden sign.
If I may, when you were talking about money, am I correct in that the pile of money that this is coming from is the same pile of money that I would use for pending fire apparatus repairs?
You should have a separate line for buildings and then another one for equipment.
From my point of view,
No.
if there's money for that kind of stuff, I should be able to get it for the apparatus.
Can we take it out of occupancy tax? If she's saying that it is used by chamber into a
Yeah.
list of
That's
events,
a total perfect use for occupancy tax.
Exactly.
so
Would the board-
versus,
board be okay with that?
It's brilliant. You know, I didn't think of that. I'm glad you thought of it. Yeah, because if the chamber is using it and the village board is using it to post dates and it is a
Chamber
tourism
does
promotional
all
item.
the time.
Yeah,
Can you put this up? Cause you're, you know, we're in a good location.
Right.
So they do it all the time.
Can I make a motion then to approve this from our occupancy tax?
yeah, and then chief, it wouldn't be the same amount of money.
The same
It would be-
pile.
It would be
So
a
it doesn't
different
affect your
pile.
budget, chief.
Would be the whole.
Can we do the whole bill out?
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say, so we do the whole.
Yes, we
Good,
can.
yeah.
We'll bill out of occupancy tax, so it doesn't affect your
Right.
budget or your apparatus lines.
Right. You're not in the tourism business.
He's just into saving tourists.
Right, yeah.
So,
In the buildings.
Was it Donnie's question?
What did you say?
It was at 7,000 and then I think it was what, 1,000 for Russ?
I only have
I
the
only have the
$7,652.
Unless there's another reason you wanna keep the wood sign, like I would hear the argument, if that's why. he's-
Listen, we'll hang it in the bay so they can look at it.
Nope.
Well, I mean, I wanna make sure.
It wasn't,
We'll
it
have the
doesn't,
bay, but
it doesn't seem like it was that long ago that this sign would not even come close to being accepted. We went through a lot of consternation with, you couldn't have any moving lights and it was so much different. It doesn't seem that long ago. Now this sign moves, there's a lot of animation, it's moving, it's bright, it's colorful.
Planning board.
All that was forbidden. That doesn't seem like that long ago that none of that was allowable. And now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
say the one.
All the new LED signs have a total cell to them. They measure the ambient light and adjust the light.
Right.
So
This
that's
one
the
did-
ambient light. So
That one
that's-
didn't have that capability before.
Number two is, and as Donnie states, everybody coming to and from the school, Price Chopper, whatever, it's on a corner, everybody sees it. Change your batteries to your smoke detector to, you know, welcome to America. It's visible as opposed to the park, which, I mean, it's not a big deal, but the park you look at.
Yeah.
This one's, when you make that turn, it's there.
Well, you make a stop and you see it
Well,
in
sometimes you stop.
three directions.
Once in a while. they-
Slow down anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it looks, the park, it's,
So even the foot traffic through there,
Right.
there's
Yeah.
constant foot traffic through there.
I guess I would just echo John's and maybe it's not gonna be an issue, but like update it more frequently.
Yeah,
Um,
that computer was.
Even like school closings, it would be ideal to
Yeah.
more community messages. It doesn't have to be
Right.
all
It's
events.
so, you know, we always put back to school on there and it was just getting to the point, the software updates weren't coming through correctly and you couldn't change it.
Yeah.
You could change it, it just wasn't changing it, was the problem, it wasn't. But also, on that note, what did you find out about the internet moving us? to
I
Slick?
reached out to Slick. I haven't heard back. They,
Cause I think that would be a huge help too.
Yeah.
Because if the internet's not, cause that's all internet based, so. If we're struggling with internet, that's.
yeah, I'm not sure what you have there for internet. You have Spectrum?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
know
did
we
not
don't
hear
have,
back
like,
from
the
Slick. but-
highest. I think we have like the next step up from the high, from the lowest, to the next one.
Yeah, I'm gonna negotiate with them as a consolation of not having us up and running like they said they were gonna do by last year.
Right,
So I could probably get another building out of it and that would be you guys.
or transfer DPWs down to officers.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna use DPW. The DPW doesn't need it. They got one computer there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so how do you,
That
how
would
do
be
you,
really helpful.
how do you determine and who determines who's allowed to post on that side?
Right now, I'm the one that posts on it.
But you allow the
Committee
chamber
of
to
one.
post on it.
Oh, the chamber, Mayor Blaze only there was nothing political that can go on it, was the rule with him. And, if it was something that I thought was like, then I would usually just call him and be like, what do you think about this? You know, someone called and asked if we could do this. I know people that were having events, like in the park would call and be like, hey, could you post this for me on it? If I was like, then I would just call the mayor and be like, what do you think?
And that would be
No, it's
the current
So
mayor.
now
Yeah.
I would just call you and be like, you know, like if Kelly's Angels called and said, hey, would you mind posting our event on the sign? Then I would either say yay or
Yeah.
call the mayor and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Do you think it'd be okay?
And you obviously post the firemen's events too,
Right.
you know, but
Yeah, it's just kind of like, now that the word is out, you're getting a new sign, you might get more people looking
Yeah,
to
and
post things.
that's not an
It might-
issue.
Well,
$100 a post.
As long as, you know.
Good
I'm-
fundraiser.
yeah,
it was a
no, that's
event,
fine.
like,
I
what do
like
you
the
think?
idea of more community minded,
right,
like library hours or if school's closed or something like that.
Right.
So I'll make a motion to approve the $7,652 for a new sign with an additional $1,000 for the labor.
Can we do the labor?
It's contract based, yeah.
I'll second that.
Seconded by,
Yes.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. And votes aye. Passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison.
Oh, thinking outside the box. Okay. Shepherd Park facility use events. Now this is at the Adirondack Brewery. Do we need a resolution for this or approval for this? Because didn't they, last year, didn't we determine that it was on John Carr's property and, hey, John,
Yeah, it's not Shepherd Park.
it's not at Shepherd Park.
You're doing it at,
But then again, the Barrel Fest,
I said, I think we did.
yeah, I think we did do,
Just to make
yeah,
sure.
so I would take both of these approvals in one. They're both contained on the Adirondack Pub and Brewery property. And they don't require any traffic control. So I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll make
These
that
two.
motion.
Approve.
Both of them?
Okay,
second.
second by trustee
Both of
Root.
them.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Mayor votes aye. Frank. Red Knights. Two, looks like, 2 days during Americade. Gonna use the facilities. Frank is a volunteer firefighter with good standing. All we need is an approval
Red
to,
Knights are a group of firefighter motorcycle club with family. So right now we have 10,000 members, 26 countries. We'll get about 6, 7 states, 8 Canada may come down from Americade. And the Wednesday application is just for use. It's a meeting place to go for a ride. They usually do a 200-mile ride on Wednesday.
Mhm.
Thursday, our chapter, which is from St. George, is holding a meet and greet at the firehouse, just for people to come by and introduce themselves.
nice.
So it's been going on for years.
Mhm.
This is the first year that my chapter, New York 11, will be hosting the Thursday. And New York 3, which is out of Albany, is doing the ride on Wednesday.
Cool. I'll put forward a motion to approve. We'll just take a second.
I'll second that.
Seconded by trustee Joe. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's for both,
That's
correct?
for both, yes, both days. Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. St. Patrick's Day Parade. Looking to have another one, just like we did last year. From, Westbrook Road down, or I say east to, no, west to Canada Street and then ending at, Amherst. Believe Donnie has put a job form out for interest and there's, how many people that are interested so far?
I talked to Debonaid the end of last week. People are like, they want all the details. She was trying to work with Linda and get a flyer.
There is one,
Normally I hook a flyer to it.
yeah,
So people know the information. They're like, well, do you have like a flyer or information? And I'm like, Okay, so I told her, give me the flyer so we can hook it to the job form and kick it out. There was some interest, people were like, then you got Chestertown is gonna be on the same day.
Is it a Sunday?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so. I'm
Yeah,
not-
I mean, we've always
there's
done when we
interest, there's
rekindled it.
interest, But I
Yeah.
need that flyer.
Okay, we'll get it to you today.
Okay.
Or, yeah, at the end of the meeting, if you stay around. If not, I'll get it to you tomorrow. But,
Okay, fine.
this would be the village putting this on like we did last year. We had some of our trucks, we had a big green and whoever was available to drive, we had about, I want to say there was 13 companies that shared in the parade or attended the parade. Was it that many?
For Light Up the Village?
Not Light of the Village,
Oh,
for
first.
St. Patty's.
St. Patty's Day?
I don't know, fire companies, but different organizations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was all sorts of trucks.
Yeah, we even had a DEC guy bring his own bagpipes and marched by himself, which was kind of cool. Yeah, sure. It's green.
Last night, DPW had it today, so I don't know what's.
I saw they were loading it with snow.
It's white now.
Yeah. Banged up. Take a motion to approve us throwing a St. Patrick's Day parade.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
So Jose,
Roll the tape.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mayor votes aye. Occupancy tax, community block party, we went to the town's occupancy tax meeting and requested 5,500 and received it. So the match would be from the village for us to continue with our community block party. I don't know why it says Robert Blaze, because I'm the one doing it. But we can remedy that. So yeah, 5,500 will go to the bounce houses, the bands. We are celebrating the induction of our, we plan to celebrate the induction of the Stony Creek Band into the Albany Music Hall of Fame. And Jonathan Newell, and we're gonna try to get some students to play the drum line like we did last year. Several organizations have come forth to including the fire department and the Ladies Auxiliary, the Arts Project, the Caldwell Library. Trying to think of who else. There's every group that we had last year and each of the churches. The one difference, we're gonna use our own stage, but the one difference between this year and last year is it's a 1-day event, not 2 days. And Sunday before, it's Saturday, and then Sunday, the only thing that will be going on is a multi-denominational church service in the morning and a brunch to follow. So it's each of the representatives from the 4 religions that we have with buildings in the village will be holding services together. And I thought that was an
You're gonna
interesting
use the
idea.
stage for that?
Yeah, the priests,
pastoring.
the pastoring will be on the stage, and then the
stage, yeah.
seats will have chairs and a tent will be provided.
Sounds good.
So the bounce houses would be free.
Yes.
And,
Oh, everything's free.
well, last year everything wasn't, so that's why I wanted to. do
Food.
it.
You could buy
The
food.
food vendors,
right?
you could buy
Right.
food.
But like the pony rides, we had to pay, like there's things we had to get tickets for, cause I think the church was collecting tickets on top of that, so.
Oh, okay.
I just wanna make sure that it's, if we're giving it, that it's free for the community.
Yes, well, the bounce houses are definitely free.
Okay,
And technically, I don't think it even qualifies for occupancy tax because it's not tourism based, it's a
Right.
community event. So I don't see how it
we're blurring the
qualifies for
lines.
occupancy tax,
Well, we got
not for tourism.
a lot of people from neighboring towns coming in.
Yeah, they just weren't Lake George residents. That showed up for the 2 days.
Mhm.
It's a lot of money.
Looking for a motion to approve the community block party.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by trustee Joe.
You're looking for a motion to approve the occupancy. tax.
Occupancy tax, I'm sorry, occupancy tax
Right.
application for the community block party.
Still alcohol free, right?
Still alcohol free.
Let's still make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
It's seconded by trustee Jose. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Okay.
Okay, Ronald McDonald Charities, this is a village sponsored event, but I'm not putting it on. I thought he was gonna come to explain why he was asking for an additional 3,000. I think he,
Well, I can explain
can
to you what
explain?
happened.
okay,
If you look at the application, he put on the first page $3,000, but on the second page, he had $6,000. That was on the original application that he sent. He realized his error afterwards. He meant to put $6,000 as his full request.
that's what he asked for from the town.
So basically what he did is he redid it, did another one for, this is separate for 3,000, because he meant to ask for 6,000 on the first application. He had written it on the first page, but not on the second page.
This is on the zoning note.
So like it's showing, he got 8, where he got 8 from the town.
Yeah.
He got,
Oh, it's Olaf. I didn't see the physical one.
So it's the same as last year.
Same, same request.
It's the same request as last year.
A motion by trustee Root. Is there a second?
Second that.
Second by trustee Jose. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Nay?
yeah.
Okay.
Hold on a
Um,
second. 1 second, please. Yep. I just wanna make sure I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Luke Dow, Rock the Dock Music Festival. How you doing, Luke? Come on up.
All right, how y'all doing?
Good. We don't bite. Come on up. Nibble a little, but
We actually have someone in person.
yeah.
Let's know what you're looking for.
Do a dance a jig while you're there.
You don't want me to do that.
So Rock the Dock,
Yes, sir.
still on again. Is this the third?
We did 2017, 18, 19, then 22, 22, 23, 24. So I think it's 6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember if we did the 2022 or if that was still like COVID, COVID restrictions and whatnot. It's been a blur at least last few years.
And the Legion receives a portion of the proceeds?
Yeah. The last few years, we did 25% of gross ticket proceeds to the American Legion last year. Normally, that was about $10,000-ish, fluctuating a little bit. And then last year with the bigger bands and the even though we didn't sell more tickets, last year was a weird year for music in the area. I know Dave Beeman kind of didn't do so hot.
No.
And even though I had spent more than 30 grand extra on bands, I think I sold like 100 more tickets.
Wow.
But because it was a higher ticket price, the 25% turned out to be $18,342 given to the American Legion, and which, once again, because we didn't do as well as I was hoping to do, thanks to the 15 grand in occupancy tax from the county, and then 10 from the village, that helped make that up. Because if I didn't donate that money, I would have made like, I think $2,000 with the help of that 25 grand.
Yeah.
So because the band that we are bringing in this year to headline is it's a huge band. It's costs us 70 grand to bring them in.
Oh, wow.
Or is that is it a secret? Can you say?
Oh, no. I posted it on Friday. It's Humphreys McGee.
Okay.
And I haven't even boosted the post yet. I made it Friday afternoon, and last year, pre-sale tickets for a 2-week period was about 300-400 tickets at a very reduced rate. This year, without even boosting the post, just putting it on our website, or we already have, as of this afternoon, 209 tickets sold. So hopefully, but yeah, I'm going to, just so my mom doesn't kill me, I'm gonna reduce that because we are charging a little more money for ticket prices and I'm hoping to get. I mean, if I can't pack the pier with at least 2,500 people, then I better get out of this business because I just don't know what I'm doing. I mean, this is,
And you get any feedback from, any of the motels, like a Smith Report or anything that states that, you know, they're actually staying for this?
well, that's the one thing that's tough.
Mhm.
And, you know, just full disclosure, I know that most occupancy tax is granted to, events that are, you know, at least 2 days. And, as much as I'd like to do that, to really help me, you know, it's tough to set up this pier
Yeah.
in a couple hours and then break everything down before the next day. I'm on the pier from 8 AM till 4 AM most of the time.
Yeah.
But we already give up 7 cruises of revenue during a busy summer weekend. And I wouldn't even mind for the whole day, but mom's like, we're.
Boats are going out.
That's a tough gap to close when you start canceling those cruises.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what's needed, you know, that's what makes the festival so unique and, you know, the boats of the grandstands. So,
Right, yeah.
and unfortunately, it's during a time where, I mean, last year, and I do want to say that on my application, I think I put about 6,000 in the estimate for hotels. That's gonna be way less, because that was me thinking I was gonna need to get a bunch of rooms for our headliner and then for our supporting band, who's also from outside the area. Apparently the supporting band doesn't need hotel rooms, and somehow this nationwide touring band only needs 3 rooms. At, I think I paid $800 for each room for 2 nights, so, you know, $3,000 or something like that, 2,400.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a lot less than what I paid last year, which was, I think the hotel rooms at the Fort William Henry were $900 a night for 2 nights for each 7 rooms, and then, you know, the Holiday Inn was charging $400. So because I got my bands done earlier, yeah, it was a lot cheaper. And I'm hoping that that's the case for people who come to attend my event. Because last year, if the hotels were not filled up, it was $1,000 a night. And hippies will spend money on a lot of stuff, but they don't have that kind of cash. And I did see that in like the message boards and whatnot, that it was tough to find a room, so they were camping or, you know. So it is, I do recognize that it is tough. I mean, normally that time of year, you know, I've tried to sponsor with hotels before and they're like, we don't need your help. We're good. We're gonna be
Yeah.
back anyways. But I'm hoping that getting out now, with cheaper rates, you know, more occupancy in the hotels for that weekend. I'm hoping it'll help fill those hotels nice and early.
After the weird 4th of July slump. After last 4th of July, I felt that it didn't kick back in until basically the very beginning of August, the week before August. There was a
Yeah,
2-week dip right after 4th of July. Throughout the village, we see the impact from the pizzerias down to the full restaurants. When the groups of people like this come in, but it was absolutely a slump last year
yeah,
before that.
yeah. I thought 4th of July, you know, it being like Thursday, I thought, all right, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like they're gonna make it a whole weekend. And I mean, 4th of July was one of the busiest days that I've ever seen it be on the 4th, and then just dead the rest of the weekend. It was crazy. But once again, I'm hoping that being able to announce when I did, especially at this greatly reduced pricing for my tickets for 2 weeks, will really, you know, have a lot of these people, especially with the band following. I mean, I've got friends that went all the way down to Philadelphia to go see this band. So I'm hoping those Philly folks come up our way, so.
Yeah.
But,
They can keep their Eagles fans though.
yeah. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the explanation,
Okay.
Luke. I'll take a motion to approve or any other discussion.
Thanks for coming and I'll make a motion to approve.
Oh, I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Motion to approve the 10,000 for Rock the Dock Music Festival by John J. Root.
I'll second
second.
it.
No, Jose got it.
Jose beat you to it.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
it's
just
Jose.
gliding in.
Yeah, you
fingertip
kind of have,
place.
you kind of have. Seconded by Jose. All those in favor, say aye.
All right.
Okay.
I
Aye.
really appreciate that, and I hope to see you all down there.
Thank you, Luke.
Even if it's not your bag, it's a good time.
It does create a buzz.
It
Yeah,
does,
there's the
yeah.
vibe down there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's. Everyone's just in it for a good time, man.
Energy, not a good energy down
Oh,
there.
yeah, I saw that. I saw
appreciate
it
that.
before,
Thank you,
but
guys.
Gillis called me. Thank you.
Okay.
Training. New York Rural Water Association, Financial Management Basics for Small Utilities on April 28th. All day Tim Senior and Junior and Andy Kellenbeck. No fees on this one. NICOM, May 28th at the Sagamore, Bolton Landing. Julie is gonna go and she's gonna stay because it's hard to get home from there.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go, so there's one.
I would
Um,
definitely recommend if anybody
I would
can
recommend
attend,
if you can,
as
yeah.
many trustees attend as you can.
They're
You
really
get a lot of information.
beneficial classes. I know it's
Which
tough.
one, the May 28th?
I know Allison, it's tough for you. but
Yeah, the May
Yeah.
one.
Really benefited the first
Are you
year.
in your room every night?
To look at my calendar.
Yeah.
You
if
staying
you
there?
could,
This,
that'd be
this
great.
girl doesn't
Where is
party.
it?
Because I think-
I'd love to.
It was very
Very
beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love
Yes.
to. It's just
I
finding
know.
someone to watch my
And
kids.
I know
You'd be in the
Jose's got a
lodge.
busy
You'd be in the
business,
lodge
John's got a
there.
job and
Yeah,
it's American
generally.
Indian.
Try to get someone to watch my kids to work is.
Yeah, it's true.
only cheap.
But just so
May
we
28th
know,
is a Wednesday.
there
How
are
come we
fees
don't do 'em
associated.
on a
I don't think they
Monday?
posted them yet, have they?
When do you want to know by?
Well, you have time, just
Okay.
give, in the next month or so, I'll let you know when the registration opens up.
Yeah.
They haven't posted that yet, but I just wanted to get approval so that when they do, because what happens.
Fill up.
This is what happened to me last time, is they post it and within the week. They sell out of rooms. So I ended up having to get a room a couple miles down the road. And of course, when you do that, you then have to pay for parking to go to the location. I'm just like, I just wanted to get your approval to go ahead and, as soon as the registration opens up, go ahead and book it. So that way, I'm not,
You get saved.
Yeah, that-
It's a nice location.
Save on the parking.
They put a pile
Well,
in there.
well,
You
it's
know.
not necessarily these guys as much as the September one, that was in Saratoga, that one, that was crazy. Within 3 days, they were booked up. on
Speaking
3
of which,
hotels.
NICOM September 15th to 19th, annual training for Julie. She would like to move the board meeting to September 22nd. Your calendar down here, but, so it would be the third. Yeah, that would be the fourth Monday. No,
Yeah, I mean,
is
we'd
it the
still, if we
second?
still do the Monday, the first Monday and the third, it'd be the first and the fourth instead.
First and fourth instead of the.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait, I thought we were doing
we're doing,
the
first and
third.
third.
First and the third.
That's what we're
Well, it's
But what I'm
getting back
saying, we
to.
would
There's
have to
five
change
on
the
that.
Yeah.
September one to the first and the fourth
Because of the meeting.
because of this training.
I'm almost positive that like my work schedule is gonna get set. So anytime that we move outside of that first and third, I will.
It should
not
only be
able to
this one,
attend.
honestly, because
Yeah,
that's the
okay.
only one that I'm.
Oh, you're gonna get back to,
I'm trying.
Yeah.
So I said a first and a third.
so I'm
yeah,
trying to
no,
get
we'll keep it to
as
that
much
as often
notice
as we
as I
can.
can.
The only time it'll change is like MLK and President's Day. That's typically twice a year that we have to move the
Right,
third,
yeah.
but. So I will take a motion for those 3 trainings. Fees will be provided as soon as they're available. There is no fees for the
There's no fees for
wastewater
the
treatment.
wastewater
Phyllis.
I'll make that motion to accept them.
Okay, seconded by trustee Root. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Okay, benefits review. Jules, you take over on this.
Okay, so every month we have a meeting with our heads of the departments. And we look for ways to obviously improve the lives of our employees as far as address any problems or anything that we think could benefit the village. And one of the subjects that we've broached and would like to present to you guys is, for consideration, is the possibility of changing the way we pay out PTO and sick time when somebody retires. the way that it works right now is you can only carry over 3 times your annual vacation allotment. You can only get 50% of or up to 60 days total for sick leave that you've accumulated. And the same basis is for PTO, but that's a total of 15 days. And the reason we're trying to get full payout to our employees is for retention, basically. What happens is they lose out on pay. If we don't pay them out, obviously, but what I'm trying to get at is,
Yeah.
well, it's
We
hard-
keyed in now.
yeah, no, it's hard to explain because there's 3 different scenarios. Right now, we only get a portion when they retire. And if these people aren't using their time, my feeling and the rest of the people in our head of the departments is that these people are earning this time. They're earning their PTO, they're earning their sick time, they're earning their vacation time. And they're losing it if they don't use it. And
In other
in a
words, they're
way,
being
in a way,
punished-
they're being
punished.
they're
for
being
not
punished
taking
for not
vacation.
taking the time. And ultimately, we don't want people to take the time just because they have it. It hurts the village if, if they're just calling off because, hey, why wouldn't I use my time if I've got it? Calling in sick or taking a personal day just because they have it, because they don't want to lose out getting paid for it at
Mhm.
full benefits. And the people that have been here for 15 years obviously have accumulated some time. If they're not calling in sick all the time, you kind of are forcing people to start thinking the other way if you don't offer them the full payout. You're getting them to start saying, well, wait a minute, if I don't use it, I'm out time and money. So that's what we're just looking to see if you guys would take into consideration, talk about it. See if you think that there's, any benefit to this yourselves. I think that, like I said, we're talking one person every couple of years, maybe 2 people in a year that we would have to pay out, because we're not having people retire every year, and it's something that we could, as department heads, budget for. So you know what, we can
Mhm.
start saying, we know so-and-so is gonna be retiring in a couple of years, we wanna start thinking about setting some money aside. We actually have a payout code that we can use, that we can put money in there every year to help offset this cost. So it's actually money that doesn't come as a surprise. It was it was, as far as what we discussed, we discussed it about retirement. Mhm.
Well, what they do at my employment is once you carry, once you get up to 90 hours of vacation time, you
Mhm.
don't accrue anymore. So they want me and other coworkers to take vacation,
Mhm.
but PTO and sick time, you can carry that over.
Right.
Because when somebody just takes a PTO day, one day at a time, it just messes everybody's schedule up. But if you take vacation and it's a planned absence, then they can schedule around that. And I think it's healthy for people to take time off.
Yeah.
If somebody's just working, grinding it out day after day and trying to accumulate all that time and money so that when they retire, they got that little nest egg.
Nest
Not
egg,
little,
yeah.
could be a good
Mhm.
sized nest egg built up. I don't know if that's healthy, but that's just how they do it where I work.
How do they do it at the county, Tom?
Not even close. I will tell you that, one of the hats that I wear is also trustee of firefighters home in Hudson. We just had a RN retire after 28 years. We just paid her out $285,000.
Oh, my goodness.
So think about that budget.
Nightmare.
We might want to cap it.
What we do and our end of it is because I'm under a different contract from CSEA. I can only earn, I have to use my vacation that I've earned in the last 36 months. I never have a problem. I usually don't. All of my PTO sick time, I can carry up to 90 days. And, anything else, as far as, PTO time, use it or lose it by January 1.
Yeah.
And then when I go, my sick time goes back to the county. If anybody was pre-2012 hire, they get paid out.
Oh, so they're grandfathered.
The contract in 2012 changed the way PTO's paid back.
Gotcha.
I don't really, when I go out next year, I don't foresee a nest egg of leftover time.
Not $250,000, huh?
No. The other thing, like, and one of the things that we brought up, and I don't want to believe it, but one of the things we brought up with this particular RN, exactly the same thing, never took time off, whatever, always worked, so on. She was earning vacation time at $8.75 an hour, and she took it at her rate of $38 an hour.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you,
Oh.
yeah, so, yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's think about it and we'll discuss
Like I
it. We
said,
can
there's
discuss it at a
different-
future workshop.
Yeah, there's different ways, and that's why I'm saying we're presenting, that's why I didn't put it up for resolution or anything like that. I just want you guys to think
Do you
of
have
ways.
employees saying that they're thinking of going elsewhere because this is the
No, what we're
policy, because you're
seeing,
saying it's for retention?
no, what we're seeing is people are taking every single day that they can, whether they're sick or not. And it hurts the people left in the office or out in the field that are having to be here because, you know, they're like, well, if I don't use it, I'm gonna lose it.
I'm
I-
in favor of it saying it like this,
Mhm.
because it sounds like, and I could see it being a budgeting nightmare. And as far as like standards across the board, it's what they do at my job. Like you stop accumulating once you reach a certain point, so you have to use it, and you only get paid out so much.
Well, that's the question too, is, can we offer, I mean, that's another, like I said, another solution would be to offer it paid out. It's like, okay, well, you've accumulated, you can't have any more, so now we're gonna pay you out for what you accumulated.
Oh,
You know,
without
before
them
they-
leaving. Oh, okay, like
You know,
at a
that's-
full rate or?
Well, that's the thing, there's all different ways
Yeah,
of,
that's a good point, because if they get a raise, a yearly raise, and
it would be at whatever rate they're at, you couldn't pay them less.
I don't know. I feel like.
Yeah.
So we could
So,
definitely talk more about it in the workshop.
The way I look at sick time,
Right.
Yeah.
We're supposed to take, for sick. Doctors.
Yeah.
You know, I don't, 61 years old, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's something that, I think, months off.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to have that. It's not a nest egg, so to speak, but it's a safety net.
A
So one of
fallback
the-
just in
One of
case.
the things that they had in my previous appointment, which were actually, we had, Time Warner had over 600 employees in all the divisions. Every employee was in the pool. It was budgeted money. Everybody got $75 a year for not calling in sick. You called in sick, you're out of the pool.
Yeah.
Whoever's left at November 1st splits the pool.
Oh.
So if you got sick in February,
I'm not managing that.
Yeah.
No way.
Sounds like gambling.
if you got sick in
It does.
February, it sucks to be you. Man, you were dragging yourself to work October 31st.
You don't want people coming to work sick.
No.
It's another thing, you know,
No.
when you talk about like
Yeah.
COVID and what we just went through with that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
that's
gotta
why
make it in
people
there.
take it when they're sick, that's
Then
not
you're
good.
taking everybody else with you.
I mean, my wife is very strict, and we're all fine with it.
All right, well, it's up for discussion. We don't have to make any decisions on that tonight. Water changes. I'll take a motion to approve those.
Make that motion.
And a second.
1 second.
Oh, seconded by trustee Miller. She snuck in there between you guys. Why guys were fighting over
We
it.
froze it. It's like-
All those in
Then I
favor
guess.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, nay. Say nay. Transfers and audits, take
You
a
guys-
motion to approve.
Yeah, you guys have that piece of paper, that's the updated one. Basically, when we went to run the checks, we noticed that there was $4 and change being paid out for tax. We caught it before we sent them out, and so we made the change, and that's why it's slightly lower than what the original audit
Okay.
was.
I'll still take a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by trustee Joe.
Second it, just so there's no fights.
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Jose. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Chair votes aye. Anybody in the audience have anything they'd like to say?
Mhm.
Tom does. I saw Chief was first. so-
Pulling rank.
It'll include you mentioning Doing bi-monthly meetings, one of the things that I forgot to, include with my report is the need for a executive session for an employee.
Okay.
Get that scheduled for the next.
Yeah, we could do that for, the third.
No, because I won't have time to put the notice. Oh, wait. Yeah, because, no, I.
We could do it on the
We're fine, we're
17th.
fine,
We
we're
are?
fine. Yep, the third is fine.
Third is okay?
Yeah, it took me a second, yeah. No, we're fine.
So we're meeting on the third
It doesn't
and the
have to be a public
17th,
hearing. I was
Yeah.
thinking it had to be a public hearing.
and that's 4:30 too, right?
Yes,
Is that the third?
yeah,
It's
the
literally
third,
next Monday.
next week.
Um,
I thought it was. gonna see it.
other items I've been working on, of course, and, are important to us, the water supply at the rec center is still, something that we don't wanna to get lost.
Nope.
The Amherst Street fire lanes.
Yep,
those
Um,
are important.
yeah, I did discuss.
This weekend that we just had, with Amherst Street was a mess.
It was it, yeah. I wanted to, I wanted to discuss that again with the board, but I counted the spots. There's 5 of them. But at the same time, there's not room enough with the snow and ice that we've gotten. So we should consider if that's the case, then yeah, we really need to take a line. The ones across from the fire department, there's 4 of them on, the north side of, Amherst. That's pretty tight in there too, if you've ever done drop off and pick up from school. Well, you haven't yet, but you will.
When you were talking about insurance, an item that came up that, I forgot to include in the report too, was the cancer insurance that somehow managed through the state, I believe, but yet we pay into it. Was just wondering what level or tier that the membership was at for that.
They did didn't they?
We did that, like.
Yeah,
a
they
few
did it at
meetings
the
ago.
higher level, the
Yeah.
same as last year.
Yeah.
Is that the higher level?
Yeah,
Yes.
And then the final thing that Tom can help me with is the OSHA stuff that's coming up. Although I haven't stayed on top of it as much as I have, there are those agencies out there that are getting pretty anxious about it. And apparently, Tom's better connected than I, that can speak a little more intelligently about it, but it looks like it's something that's gonna happen, and it's really gonna upset the small departments in the fire service, which I believe includes us. Can you expand on that?
I can make a Reader's Digest version of a very, very 987 page document.
Hmm.
So what's happened is, OSHA has gone through and rewrote the OSHA standards for fire brigades. And it's everything we already do, and it's everything that they wanted to change, all that kind of stuff. This was years ago. We were sitting back and saying, don't worry about it, this isn't us, because we're not a fire brigade, we're a fire department. We aren't covered under OSHA, we're covered under PESH, we don't gonna worry about it, we don't gonna worry about it, we don't gonna worry about it. We gotta worry about it, because PESH took up the OSHA language and we're there. So in a nutshell, fire service, actually, there are 26 states that are OSHA states. In a nutshell, the fire service has, gone through federal legislation and so on and so forth. We were able to get a public hearing. We were able to get our public comments out. It's still out in public comment. There will be some rewrites. We don't know what that is, but it is absolutely cost prohibitive to a department that is, let's say a Stony Creek or a Johnsburg, maybe smaller departments couldn't possibly keep up. You would have to have 2 or 3 full-time staff just doing paperwork and things like that. Our department is kind of in the mix. Maybe it wouldn't affect somebody down in Westchester or something like that that has a little larger manpower. There is no standard for anything other than you're in the fire department, this is what you're doing. So we're trying to make that statement that not everybody's the same. You know, we have people, and Baker's Mills is one of us, the fire chief is one of my contacts. Annual budget from Johnsburg, for Baker's Mills Fire Department is $9,000. That's it. So what they do, they can't afford to put people through OSHA training, so they take the air packs off the truck. It's that kind of stuff. North River. 3 years ago, had to drain the water out of their truck because they couldn't afford to keep the building because they couldn't afford power, that the budget didn't take care of that. So that's the kind of stuff that the rural department put up with, as opposed to Westchester County, when I drive down there and you're looking at parquet floors on the apparatus space. A lot more money, a lot more, they also respond to 11 calls a year, they respond to 1,100 calls a year. So, in a nutshell, we don't have a whole lot of, not, you know, the end result yet. But it is going to be the village department have a increase in funds. There's no way that they're not gonna be able to do without changing some of your budgets. It's just not gonna happen. So, and that though, again, the FASD and what I belong, you know, the things that I do, Hudson Valley, which why I'm here, is one of those people that are out there fighting that fight right now. We just don't know. Public testimony is now in the Dakotas. We haven't had it all. New York State's done. It's still going on in the country. So. And NFPA says that 20%, or excuse me, 50% of the volunteer fire service in this country serves less than a population of less than 20,000 people. So over half of the fire service in the entire country is serviced by departments as big, if not smaller than us.
So.
I don't have any-
The stuff that's coming to us is contact your elected representatives, let
Yeah.
that stuff. You know, try to make your voices known that this is something that isn't gonna help us, so.
And we were at I was personally not there, but the fire service was at the caucus in Washington. They did get to sit down with Elise. Senator Schumer was, I think they were like 3 hours with Schumer. And, you know, again, you can't paint everybody with the same brush. Not
Right.
everybody works the same, not everybody operates. That's our message.
The schools are kind of going through the same thing with the state pulling funding for smaller schools, and so it's a lot of not common sense.
There is.
It looks good on paper sometimes, but it doesn't
I will
serve
tell you
anything.
that I believe NICOM is out there. There are places where you can sign on to,
Mhm.
you know, oppose
Mhm.
these changes. And nobody's, and again, I don't care who you are, you're not opposed to safety. That's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to make it less safe. The job is what it is, and there are inherent risks in what we do. What we're trying to do is make it make sense.
Thank you.
That's all I had. Thanks for helping me out.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
chief.
you, buddy.
Anybody else have anything?
You wanna do Valley yet, or no? You mentioned,
No,
why?
you're not on the agenda.
Cause you didn't tell me you had an agenda.
Deb and you are handling this. You got, what do you need?
Do you wanna do, so, cause we have a meeting in April.
Yes,
Parking passes. How we wanna handle that? Do we wanna do that? Cause you need that approval. Bed tax, we all good? Do you need bed tax?
Octax, we're already good on that.
That's good.
That one's set. We just revised something tonight, but we could discuss parking pass. It's been a few years since we did this, or since we had the Hudson Valley.
How many years?
So my proposal, and there's nobody here is gonna argue with me. You really, at that point in time, we're actually on the early into June, probably don't have, you know, the meter control out there. Don't advertise that. You're gonna charge them, Ray and I spoke about it, $20 for the 3 days, 4 days, put the sticker on your window, you won't get a parking ticket.
As long as you're parked legally.
Yes, I can probably sell that and have those out and available. I was just looking to put a website together where the people could, you know, put their plates in, however they want to do that. Get the nuts and bolts of that. I am working diligently trying to get a lot of the small stuff taken care of because, it's only a couple months away. You know, there's a whole bunch of hosts of events and obviously, we talked about the block party. And we've got the street, stuff like that. I checked the stuff for DOT.
Yep.
Dealing with that. I did have to change my insurance. Didn't realize they needed an $8 million or whatever it was, but they did change their liability policy for that. So that's gonna be happening, but.
It's all in your application or everything.
Yeah,
Nothing's, you're not adding anything, right?
Not adding
Just
anything. The
discussion
only thing I
of-
wanna do is some of these small things.
Little
like-
things. Oh, we could do, how does the board feel about a parking pass for the 4 days event? 3, 4?
Depends on what
Depends
day
on
it is.
who it is. Some of the officers will be here as early as Tuesday, you know, that kind of stuff, but most of the membership will be. in
Thursday, Friday,
through
Saturday.
Saturday.
Well, it's not like the car show with it. You're not gonna leave the car parked
They're
for
not
3 days in the
selling
same
them,
spot.
yeah, right.
Right.
The car show, turns into a used car lot.
Most of these people, correction, most of the participants that come to this are going to be parking at their hotel, and the next thing you'll see their cars on Sunday morning. That's the
Yeah.
convenience of being in Lake George, because you don't have to go park.
Right.
You know, people walk to where they wanna walk. We're working with, beer distributors right now to create a pub club, where we're enticing people to get out of their hospitality rooms and go in and have a cocktail and a sandwich at, you know, some different places and stuff like that. Beach club, yeah, so. Jose and I will talk after this is over. But, you know, that kind of stuff, so we're
He's gonna recuse
trying to do
himself.
some different things to get people to go out and do that. So anyway, the parking passes, Mary and I discussed, I just want to get that finalized and figure out how I'm gonna put that together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. We have had good
So it's
experiences
a
with it.
parking pass for $20 for
For the-
Tuesday through Saturday?
The length of the event, yeah.
They can put their their license plate on the pass, they can put it in the dashboard of their vehicle, however you wanna do it, however you guys administer that for other events. I
Yeah.
don't think we need anything special,
We've
like,
got a template,
you know,
What are the
go from
dates?
there.
June,
Well, it's Friday the 13th is the Mardi Gras parade, so backward up from there, so the big parade's the 14th and the golf outing starts on the 11th.
So the 11th through the 14th.
Yep,
Could we potentially just go back and see how much we made in parking meters in that period of time last year? Just,
but we wouldn't, it's not comparing apples to apples. You're comparing, there was nobody here then. This is an event that
okay,
brings
so.
10,000
maybe
people
shouldn't
to
make
the.
Any, like.
yeah,
yeah.
and we.
Yeah, I can pull that data if you want it, but, as far as like, the difference is they didn't have the firemen's convention here last year.
Okay.
So that number, we can't pull that data from, what was the last,
Well, 5 years ago?
5-6 years
No,
ago?
no, It hasn't been in Lake George in many years, it was in Queensbury 2021.
Right.
I can
So it's
tell you-
been
No, I
longer
know
than
that
our data goes back.
Maybe it was a different event or maybe different things, but just wondering like how much is the village making off of parking meters in that period of time? And then if we sell parking passes, would that take away from that revenue that we use in our budget? So I don't hate the idea. I just
No,
want to make sure that.
okay, I
we're
see where you're
being-
going with
Yeah,
it. I can show you that data.
Right.
But,
Oh,
yeah, it would far exceed anything we made during that period.
okay.
Especially there'd be no one here during the week.
Right, especially because there's no one.
So
one
we're
here.
saying would exceed.
It would definitely
Okay.
exceed. It's not
Okay.
gonna take away from our
We
revenues.
Okay,
did,
that's
we
what I
did
wanted.
back the convention up, another week, and it's closer, we gotta wait for graduation, we gotta wait for a lot of that stuff. Just hope Mother Nature cooperates, but, the 11th, of June, it's not. it's
There's,
still
yeah,
session,
school's still going on, yeah.
And it's midweek, you know,
That's probably, hasn't been here since pre-park mobile.
Yes, definitely
Okay,
not
okay.
since we had the parking app.
yeah, oh, yeah, no, I would say Lake George, like I said, Queensbury had it, Southland Falls had it. Lake George had, probably had it since 16 or 17. Physically in Lake George.
Okay, so I'm in agreement. If you want to set
Um,
something up this, I don't know if we need a resolution for it. Yeah,
Probably do.
take a motion to approve or I'll make the motion to approve the use of parking passes during the Hudson Valley Firefighters Convention at a rate of $20 apiece.
Second.
Second by trustee Root. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Opposed, say nay.
I will get with staff and we'll figure out how to administer it.
Yeah, Deb's got it down to a science now.
I guess as long as I'm here standing, if anybody have any questions about what's happening, what's going on those 4 days, 3.5 days. One of the things that I do want to do, we did get county tax. I can create a mailing label program out of a GIS service.
Mhm.
Anybody, what I'm trying to do is a postcard to our residents saying, hey, look, you got something going on, you're not locked in. Obviously, the back streets are familiar with going down School and getting in and out, but if we got somebody up on Thompson or up on the side streets, they got something going on, let me know. We can do accommodate people in and out so that it's not a surprise that, holy, right, so where you go.
It is a nice idea and something I was thinking about employing with us in some events that we have, like Americator Car Show, is a mailer. to like let people know, hey, these are the dates that this is going on, either,
Yeah.
you know, plan accordingly. It'd be nice to have that, I don't know, just put it on your fridge or whatever.
Somebody's gotta go to work at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and live up. on
And the
top of
sign.
it.
The new sign.
You know, it
Yeah.
could be a problem. That's,
Just
that's.
full of my
I'm working
kids
on that
tonight,
stuff.
Allison. Firing.
Anything else?
That's it.
Put it on the- put it
Get
on the-
out of here.
Put it on the board at the firehouse.
Put it on,
Everybody
what
knows.
Allison just said.
Yeah, we
Put it on
put
the
it
board.
That's
Yeah.
again, important.
Okay,
Thanks, Tom.
Keith, you got anything? Oh, yeah. Well, I do want just, well, I discussed it with Julie before, we're playing catch up with the storm. A lot of ice was just couldn't be dealt with when it was still 5 degrees out and you have 2 inches of solid ice and.
Yeah.
We got good weather today and got a lot of progress, but, it's an uphill battle and, we do have monies for overtime that's budgeted. So I just want to let everybody know, if you see the guys working late, that we're okay.
Mhm.
But we're gonna just allow them to get this cleared for the last weekend of Carnival and for everybody's safety. We're trying to get the sidewalks back to where they were. I was so proud of them, the sidewalks and our
Yeah.
men, and then this storm happened and yeah, it was,
And then the state came up afterwards, after
Yeah,
everything was
yeah,
cleaned,
I
it
know,
just
I know.
totally trashed everything.
but it
Proud
was,
of that.
it was going well. The
Especially
machine
in
broke
the street.
down.
Yeah, it's
We got a new one.
But the residents ask, that's a big part of it right there, is that they clear the roads. New York State unfortunately plowed them back up. And then as they're clearing it with the snow melt and the freezing rain coming down, it's an impossible task. Like today, we had a warm day, they were cleaning up. But unfortunately, we get more melt. So all that work that everyone's doing, so if you get any residents asking, they're out there working hard. We can't fight Mother Nature, we try it. We're not gonna win that fight. We're
Yeah.
just maintaining as they're going right now to get it done.
But we'll get through it. I evidently someone told me that, you know, we should have heated sidewalks in Lake George Village for what we charge for parking. But what are you gonna do?
We're
Can't
not
please
alone.
everybody.
Everybody's in the same boat.
Everybody-
Glens Falls, there's total lanes, can't even use lanes down
Yeah,
there.
we went to a
parking
show
lots.
in Troy and the sidewalks are terrible in
Yeah.
Troy.
Yeah, it's
So it's everywhere. It's not just here.
like stone walls, Jersey
Yeah.
barriers going on there.
All right. Did you have anything else?
I just want to let you know, we've got 4 more items in the, auction site, that we had, some more surplus that you guys have already approved.
Mhm.
And we finally got it into the auction, into the auction now. So the auction, ends on the 3rd, mid-afternoon. So, other than, you know, we'll see what we get for results and then we'll either approve or disapprove on, based on the, dollar amount.
Okay.
I think that's about all I have right now.
Tim, you got anything? Okay. Trustee Root.
I just was wondering if we are going to have an opportunity to discuss the budget. Last year, we had a workshop, like, it was kind of like, do it now or we didn't have any chance to discuss it.
Yeah, no, I want to have a couple of budget workshops, but they don't have to be pinned to
So-
Mondays or.
Well, we have a
whatever.
meeting on this upcoming
We have the
Monday.
3rd.
We could work that into
Yep, we can
discussion.
work on it
guys.
then.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely. I have all the time to work on that. We could start earlier if that's available for everyone.
During the day, you mean? Or-
Yeah, during the
Okay,
day.
I'm off on.
I know you're
Mondays.
off on Mondays and you might be off for a couple months on Mondays, right?
I said, bring the kids.
Are you still off on Mondays? Okay, so yeah, and Allison,
I work Monday, March 3rd from 10:30 AM to 7 PM.
okay. I mean, we could do morning stuff. I don't mind coming in early. I don't know
I
if
gotta
that's,
be, I gotta be out of here by like 9:50
yeah.
to make it to work in time. No, I'm sorry, that's in Malta. so
Well,
like-
actually, you know what? If you have another day, you and I can work on budget stuff with Danae,
Okay,
just the 3 of us.
okay,
Cause I went through, we did a rough pass on the stuff, you know, for that we started
Yeah, we
out
can
with.
Make it a morning meeting, but I don't know if that would be enough time.
I don't think it'd be,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I can email you guys, I mean, my work shifts right now through March and April are set, so I can send those.
send the schedule.
Yeah, I can send that to everybody, and those are the only, I mean, I've got 4 days in March and 4 days in April.
So
That are off.
that that I'm working.
Oh, that you're working.
Yeah, so I've got the rest of the month.
Yeah,
So-
oh yeah, so then you and I can schedule time and with Danae and
Yeah,
go
but I
over.
would love to do it with the group because I love hearing everybody else's,
So
comments.
you won't be at the meeting on.
I
On the
can't,
third.
because I've already,
Yeah.
and I would have to take time off, and I don't have any time off to take. So
Yeah.
I have to go to work.
No, we'll work something out.
Okay.
And then we still have the 17th. We have time before
Mhm.
we could schedule another budget workshop, maybe on like. Well, we could meet on the 10th.
No decision's gonna be made on
No.
that meeting anyway, it's just discussion.
No, it's discussion and suggestions.
Mhm.
So, no, we'll
Figure it out.
have accurate representation. Joe, you got anything?
No, just waiting for some of the side streets to get cleared up.
We're
That's about
getting there. Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, I read in Gene's monthly report, he just wants someone to update the website. It still doesn't have him as the contact.
Oh, that was another thing. Thank you for reminding me. Actually,
Yeah.
you all got an email in your inbox of the beta version of our website. You got it.
I feel like I'm getting these emails.
It came from,
Is it going to the old email?
it's going to the new one. Let me see. Let me see. Innovative Technologies.
A new website.
Cause that's what was my next question is when is the new
Trustee A
website?
Miller at lgvillage.org.
And what's the title of it?
It says preview the new village website.
When did that come out?
It came out today at 3:14.
I'll check my spam.
I don't see it.
Yeah,
Trustee Filomeno at lgvillage.org.
Negative.
Trustee J Mastro at lgvillage.org. You get it on your phone?
I've got the board documents.
On
from the
which
last
the-
meeting,
yeah.
That was the last.
Check your junk.
Am I on it?
No,
When you send it, I got Adirondack planning.
That you too?
no, I didn't send it.
so it sounds like no one got it.
I got it,
Well, then you got it.
but I mean, this is the list of all the email addresses that were on it.
I've
I
got
can,
Nothing in
I
junk.
was like, you can forward it to them too.
yeah,
Yeah, I've got, oh, wait.
Kate at, on 212.
Oh, I got something from you and John.
Call you between 2 and 4
Yeah,
Spectrum.
when was that?
That was a 10.
today at 9:54 a.m.
Not for me.
uh-oh.
Uh-uh.
You might wanna figure that out.
Ah. It could be someone sending an email that comes up as what, click on the name, see where the email address is.
Executive committee 2559@gmail.com.
Yeah, see, that's a spammer. It's
But
not-
if we called them, what voice would we?
No, I wouldn't wanna,
No, I don't have anything,
okay.
so.
We'll make
Well,
sure to get you.
We'll make sure to get
We'll
you
make
the
sure
the
Paul
link.
gets it out to everybody tomorrow.
Yeah.
If it's a link,
not
maybe I
working.
can copy the link and. Oh, yeah. Let me-
But yes, his name will be updated on it and you'll see. We need to get pictures of everybody.
I got some from Spectrum.
Copy. Let me just retext. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm just gonna retext the board.
It'd be nice if we could have something in that format that is a newsletter that goes out to like the village residents. That's why, I mean, Warren County, like I get their newsletter monthly, so if we could have something in there that we could start collecting emails where people can type it in and we can start having a database. So you were saying,
Just texted. it
And
to
that's
everyone.
what this part, this
That's-
beta
In there,
text is
in there,
for,
okay.
exactly,
Yeah.
say, I would love this to be on there.
Right,
Okay.
this is so we can,
This
you know,
is
we can go
exactly what
live,
this
but we
is.
can also say, I'd like this change, this change. We're trying to hurry it up because we just sent water bills out again, and the biggest complaint is, why can't I pay this online?
oh yeah, and I keep forgetting, so.
You need,
I'm one of those.
you need login.
It should be
Username
on,
and password?
it should be the password.
Whatever your,
Whatever the temp one is, user is demo, and then password is LGV,
Oh.
yeah, so it's on there. I think it's the same for everybody. So
yeah.
everybody's demo.
you
Oh,
look
okay.
at,
Okay,
you
I
know,
see.
see what he's working on, and obviously not everything's set in stone, and this is your chance to say, I want this, I would love to see this. Kind of thing, and he can tell you
LGV
if it's feasible, not feasible, or absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, let's see, did we finish our round robin? Jose? You don't have anything, okay,
No, I don't.
I got nothing more. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So.
Anyone on the board?
So moved.
So who made the motion on the board?
John.
John,
I just repeated with.
sure.
It slid right off. Oh, Keith, I don't know if you were made aware, the courthouse building